Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Let's go to Florida. I mean, what's our Florida song?
Yeah, we need a Florida song.
We don't have a Florida song?
Yeah, maybe it's...
Come on down.
Yeah, I was going to say Exodus from New York.
Well, we got Senator Rick Scott. Do you want to bring him in?
Absolutely. I love Senator Rick Scott from the great state of Florida. Senator, this is Rita Cosby. It's so great to talk with you again, my friend. Fill us in on, first of all, what's going on with the SAVE Act and what's happening with voter integrity. I know it's an issue very near and dear to your heart.
Well, first off, Trump showed us in his press conference last Thursday of how many illegals are on the voter rolls. New Jersey showed us they have 6,000. We saw what James O'Keefe and Spencer Pratt showed us out in California, where they're paying people on Skid Row to vote for Karen Bass. So we know there's stuff's going on. So thank God for the House. They passed it. Now we got to get it done over here. The public wants it. Republicans, Democrats, Independents. So here's our options. We have sort of three options. One is to pass the Save America Act, which is voter ID. You have to show your American citizen registered to vote. That would either require, we got the votes, we got 50 votes for it. We would require either getting rid of the filibuster or forcing the Democrats to talk. Historically, the filibuster was not to stop a bill. It was to say, we've talked about this long enough. We're going to vote now because it only takes 50 to pass a bill. So those are our first two options. The third option is there's things that we can do to create an incentive for states to do the right thing. We do that through reconciliation, which only takes 50 votes. And so that's something else we're looking at. So what I'd like to do is either get rid of the filibuster or make the Democrats start talking. And when we're done, we vote. But whichever way we can do it, we need to do it. We're going on recess in 2 weeks, and we got to get it done before we go on recess.
Senator, I understand Congress today passed the bill for the defense bill.
The House did. Yep.
Right. What happens now? Yeah.
Well, we took a vote on that last week, and every Democrat voted against it.
Yeah, that was shocking. I mean, that is so shocking,
this
Senator.
Is a bipartisan bill. Yeah, this is a bipartisan bill. It came out of the committee on a bipartisan manner. It's one thing. It's the one bill that we voted on behind closed doors, no press. So it's got Republican priorities, Democrat priorities. But right now, the Democrats, they don't want to do anything. They want to shut down government. They don't want to pass election security. There's nothing. They don't want to fund our military. So it's really a very tough time.
Yeah, it is so crazy. Senator Rick Scott, we have Judge Richard Weinberg.
Senator, good to talk to you again, sir. It's just,
hey, Judge.
It's good to talk to you. It's absolutely ridiculous that in time of war, when our people are on the line, when we're being attacked, we're defending American Western civilization, that these people will not do the right thing and fund our military and our defense budget. How do they stand there and do that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's ultimately the public that has to get up in arms. That's why I tell everybody, I said, look, I don't care what party you are. You have to be active. You have to, you have to get out there and tell your House members and your senators what's important to you. And if you do, then people are going to do the right things. So that's what needs to happen. The public needs to be up in arms about this, and people need to follow what their elected officials are doing.
Senator Rick Scott, I know that you're very big on, fighting this sort of CCP influence, if you will. And one of the things that is so troubling, I saw the other day, Hassan Piker, this guy, influencer who a lot of these Democratic Socialists of America, I think, are dangerously hanging out with him. He was talking about praising Mao. And I saw that you are spearheading, it's a bill that would essentially put this memorial, talk about this, across from the CCP embassy. Bravo to you. You're always fighting the good fight. Tell us about it.
Well, look, what the CCP has done to its own citizens is despicable. What they've done to the Uyghurs, they've imprisoned, so many Uyghurs. They've stolen organs from people. The imprisonment and the attacks on the Falun Gong members. I mean, it's just disgusting what the Communist Party of China has done. So I think we ought to have a way to recognize and respect that people have been killed. And there's a lot of Americans that their families have gone to prison because they're in this country. And so there's a park behind the communist China embassy, and so I think we ought to put some sort of statute up there to recognize all the people that they've murdered.
How big of a deal is this whole push, the communism, the socialism that we're seeing? You've been in the Senate there a long time. And I just think about, I've covered the Congress a long time. I've never sort of seen this strain where it is so sort of not anti-Israel but it's anti-American as well. And some of these things that they're talking are downright communistic, some of these values.
Well, I think if you look at what's happened to the young in this country, they can't buy a starter home. 242 cities, a starter home now costs over $1 million. You look at school was not expensive when I went to school. It was $200 a semester for me to go to school. Now it's thousands and thousands. People end up with thousands of dollars in debt, and they're not even getting degrees when they get a job. So if you look at the deal for young in this country, the federal government has actually killed their American dream. And so but socialism is not the answer. What guys like Landami are trying to sell is, it's not working. Well, it actually isn't working for a lot of these people. But the way to fix it is by fixing our government. It's not to get rid of capitalism. It's not more free government. That means you're going to have no opportunities. But we got, Republicans got to balance the budget. We've got to get rid of all the regulations. We got to reduce the cost of school. We got to really focus on the cost of living. And if we don't, then you can understand why people, why socialism sounds good, because people say, well, you guys, look at what you guys have done. And so that's why I'm focused every day on balance the budget. How do we reduce the permitting, or get rid of permits, or get rid of regulations? Make it easier for people to live in this country, build a business, get started.
Yeah, great point. And before we let you go, we have former Deputy Mayor Rudy Washington here.
Senator, I never thought I would get pushed to the point of considering abolishing the filibuster. And I was so grateful that Sinema from Arizona, and I believe West Virginia former senator,
Manchin,
stopped them from doing it. And I believe the president is right when he says, if and when they get back into power, they will eliminate the filibuster. Now, doing it now, only problem I would have is I would want to see a full agenda over the next.
What we're going to do?
Yeah,
if we do get rid of it.
Yeah, I
agree with you.
Yeah, develop a full agenda that would almost block them. I know it takes creative thinking, but get some good thinkers in a room and say, okay, if we can do all of this, how do we stop them from destroying the Constitution and the country? Because that's what they want to do.
Yeah, I agree. But what makes me mad is that the filibuster was basically never to stop a bill, it was to stop debate. Schumer's just really abused it. And so he's causing these problems. So why don't we just enforce the filibuster? Why do we say, okay, we're gonna enforce the filibuster. So you have to talk. You can talk as long as you want, but you get to talk one time. If you go back to the Civil Rights Act, the Democrats were blocking the Civil Rights Act too, and so they didn't even have close to the votes. But they said, okay, so we're going to get on the bill and we're going to talk. We're going to talk until we get this bill passed. And guess what? And they talked and people came together and they got the Civil Rights Act done. We ought to be doing the same thing on things that are important here. Say, you know what? We're going to get on the bill and we're going to talk. Everybody's got, talk. If you want to talk for a full day, talk. But at the end of that, we're going to vote. That's the way the Senate was supposed to be set up. It was not supposed to be used. You don't even have to talk. But, we're never going to, it's going to take 60 votes to procedurally to go to the bill.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You can't, we shouldn't be my personal opinion. I don't think we should be the first ones to knock out that 60 votes. I think we have to embarrass at least 8 to 10 senators from the Democratic Party to vote on common sense.
Yeah, that's what the senator is saying by forcing the debate. And why Senator Thune will not do that, I don't know.
Well, Senator Rick Scott, thank you very much. It's really great to have you here and get your
nice talking to
perspective.
every one of you. So take care.
you.